Hello everybody, my name is Junior. Today I'm going to be presenting a speech, persuasive speech actually, about the importance of seatbelt. So, about the seatbelt law, a lot of people doesn't take seatbelt really seriously. I mean, they think seatbelt is just for fun, and we have a lot of people driving without seatbelt. So the government put in place some laws about seatbelt, and basically, like it shows on the PowerPoint, driver and adult front seatbelt passenger is very necessary. So it's mandatory for people who sit on the front seat to have their seatbelt on. It's mandatory. And there's a safety law about seatbelt in Texas, and you get a ticket for someone who's caught without having a seatbelt on if you were sitting on the front seat. So it costs about between $25 to $250, like he says on the PowerPoint. And so the seatbelt for passenger between eight and older, and you also have a different kind of seatbelt for the age of 7 and younger than that. Well, one thing that you guys gotta know about is the function of seatbelt. So seatbelt basically keeps the driver and the passenger in place to minimize the wound in case of a collision. So whenever you have an impact or an accident, the seatbelt reduces the chance for you to get really hurt. And one thing also is avoid the person to fly it off, because once you have your seatbelt on and you get into an impact, the action, or I mean the speed of the impact doesn't really affect you if you have your seatbelt on, because it keeps you still. Another thing is also avoid you to getting hit against the part in the car, and that can cause really severe damage on your body. Another thing is you avoid you getting moved around the car, so you can fly from the front seat all the way to the back seat. So that's why seatbelt is very important on car. Well, when to wear your seatbelt? I think this is something that everybody should know. And first thing, safety first. First thing when you get in your car, the first thing you should do is put your seatbelt on, and before you do anything else, even turn on the car. So always, no matter how the distance is, I mean, even if you're going about a quarter mile or maybe like 20 yards from where you are, your seatbelt is very important, because you don't know what can happen. It happened in just a second. Talking about accident, right? So what happened in case of a crash? People who doesn't have the seatbelt, it's pretty simple. There are two impacts on the vehicle. The first is the actual collision. So whenever you get into a collision, when you have an accident, that's the very first impact. And that has a big effect on yourself if you don't have your seatbelt on. The second one is the collision of the car in the occupant. So you're the one who is inside. The car feels like the impact because he get damaged and stuff, but you also feel the impact from the inside, and you're the one who's more affected than the car. So that can throw the occupant, like I said earlier. It can throw you from the back seat to the front seat, or from the front seat to the back seat. Either way, but the good thing is you gotta keep your seatbelt on so you can avoid that. And whenever the car crash, the vehicle stop, because you have two things. Well, we're talking about car. You have two cars coming from a different distance. Let's say if you have a crash from the front, and they're coming with the same speed. Sometimes it could be a different speed, but the car doesn't feel the speed because the car stays still, but the occupant, so that means the people inside the car feel it. And it's very bad, especially when they don't have the seatbelt on. That's what I'm saying again, guys. Seatbelt is very important. So the passenger are still traveling at the same speed of the impact. Basically, whenever the car, like I said, whenever the car get in contact, you're the one feeling the speed. So you're feeling the speed of the impact. But the car itself doesn't feel it because it stays still. There was a contact. Basically, this picture shows about how many dead in Texas in 2012. People that got injured by an accident without having your seatbelt on. When you look at it, the number is insane. 25,000 people. That's pretty bad. And when you look at a graph, the statistic shows that the majority of these people are between 21 to 34 of the age. So most of the time, it's people young like us. We get really damaged because we don't like to listen. We think seatbelt is just a joke. We're not taking it serious. That's why we have the most peak of death in Texas. That's the probability of 2012. Well, thing to remember, wearing a seatbelt is essential. I gotta read this because you guys need to understand why I'm reading it. Wearing a seatbelt is essential to protect you and your life behind the wheel, because you don't know what can happen. It happen in just a second. But once you have your seatbelt, it avoids so many damage. So again, guys, wearing a seatbelt, please, is very important. Please, guys, wear your seatbelt. Thank you for listening to my